Crypto is an industry that's run on influence. Relationships, trust, and authority are actually all very valuable currencies in this industry that can help you get ahead and escape the rat race of day trading once and for all. But how does someone who is unknown create influence in the crypto industry? And how can they monetize it legally? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I've gotten hundreds of millions of views, hundreds of thousands of followers, and have made millions of dollars creating content in the crypto niche. My name is Vic. I've been in the crypto trenches since 2020. I've worked with brands like Kraken, Exodus, and over 100 more. I've also been creating content for over 18 years. I actually started editing video when I was in the 10th grade. And for the last 8 years, I've worked with hundreds of digital marketing clients, sharpening my skills in marketing, sales, and online business, all of which has helped me develop what you now know as the Crypto Vic brand. But let me make one thing very clear. Even though the crypto niche for video content is not very saturated and not very competitive when it comes to production quality, it is still extremely difficult to get to the level that I've gotten to. And under no circumstances are the results that I've gotten guaranteed from the ideas and topics that I talk about in this video. So let's get right into this. Why is crypto content so valuable? Our online world is run by the advertising industry. Social media and social media websites like YouTube or Instagram or X would not be able to function without advertisers that are paying money to put their products or services in front of an audience. You can also see this in the sports industry, TV, radio, newspaper, any media at all. Advertising low-key runs the world. And in the advertising industry, I mean, there are a lot of different metrics and mechanics that professionals look at in order to measure success and measure value. But the main number one metric that's used online for digital advertising is something called CPM, which stands for cost per mille. This is the cost that an advertiser will pay to put their advertisement in front of 1,000 viewers. And this cost, this CPM, changes from industry to industry. If you're putting an ad on like a kid's video selling toys, it's gonna be really cheap because kids don't have a wallet. Kids don't have credit cards. But however, in crypto, if you put an ad in front of a crypto audience, those people most likely have money, are willing to spend a lot of money, and they're buying something that probably has like an infinite profit margin, i.e. it's digital, it's in cyberspace. So crypto has one of the highest CPMs out of any industry in the world, which makes crypto content honestly the best business to be in the crypto space. But there are tons of nuances and pitfalls, regulatory traps that you can get into if you don't know the details, if you haven't deep dived this. And I've been in this space for so long. I've snowballed my knowledge over all this time, and I'm laying it all out for you right here. So let's lock in. If you are ready to create crypto content, this is the master guide, I promise. In crypto, you probably already noticed this, but the cryptocurrencies themselves are actually not the real currency. The real currency behind all of this is actually trust. That's because crypto is a small relationship-driven marketplace. And when you have trust and you have authority, you are a magnet for opportunities. And in order to get the best opportunities, early access to powerful tools, or even alpha, you need trust, you need to be known, and in order to accomplish those things, you have to be visible. People need to know who you are. And the reason I think this is better than day trading is because trading is a zero-sum game. One person wins, the other person loses. But influence can compound over time. But creating crypto content is not just like a one-size-fits-all thing. There actually are a bunch of different ways you can go about creating crypto content and things that you can talk about and just ways to move in the space. I would say the number one safest and most common thing that I see creators do in crypto is talk about news and current events. Trump says this, you make this post. This coin rugs, you tell the story. This is something that I do personally, more specifically on X and in my short form content like Reels and TikTok. Another way that you can make extremely powerful crypto content that develops a ton of trust is by creating how-to guides. I also do this. I'm doing this right now, and I feel like this is best done on YouTube. This is content that teaches people how to use wallets or platforms or tools, maybe some on-chain mechanics. But there are regulatory nuances with how-to guides, especially depending on where you live, which we will get in later. So before you jump into creating how-to guides, you need to understand the rules of playing the game in the place you live. So these are called content ladders, which are just kind of different methods to create content. Another content ladder is more on the entertainment or storytelling side of crypto industry. I mean, there are so many scams and so many ways to build a narrative based on like an expose. I think CoffeeZilla does a really good job of this, where he morphs news and expose type of content together in the crypto space. Zach XBT is another one who uses investigations in order to create storytelling and expose content. If you're treating crypto news as expose and as very current events, you could start beef with the wrong people. However, if you're reporting on something that maybe is like a few years old, like maybe you make some video about the FTX collapse, that's a lot safer, and I think that has a lot of legs. There's so many of those stories to actually tell. Another great content ladder that I do is live streaming. So I see a lot of people live streaming and doing various crypto activities. I'm not going to recommend any various crypto activity in this video, but I'm sure you could go on Kick or on Twitch and scan the crypto live stream section and just kind of see what other people are doing and implement that into your live streaming. This is incredibly good for building community, for clip farming, for short form content. Another way to live stream your content is by interviewing. I think ThreadGuy is a very good example of someone who live streams and interviews, but you don't have to live stream and interview. You could interview just on YouTube. You could interview in short form clips as well, but interviews in the space with founders and traders, influencers, and other, key opinion leaders or Coles is definitely a great content pillar because there are so many people that you can talk to. And the last content ladder that I've seen be successful in crypto is what I would call a single asset creator. I know a handful of them that focus on like XRP only or Bitcoin only. And my channel is a lot about Solana. So maybe I am kind of like a Solana single asset creator in a way. But some of these communities have enough people to be your entire audience, literally. So if you're very passionate about one specific major crypto project, you can make a whole channel just from that. Like XRP and Bitcoin and Solana are entire ecosystems on their own, and you can be very successful if you just remain focused there. These are, again, content ladders, meaning they're topics, they're methods or angles that you can take while creating content in order to remain consistent and not use a ton of bandwidth on creative ideas. But you might be thinking, okay, where am I going to post my content? What type of content am I going to create? And I think that video is by far the most powerful content that you can make in all of crypto or in general. But there are definitely a ton of different ways to approach video. The first one is this: YouTube. I think that YouTube is the golden child of all digital marketing, of all content creation in general. Just even in my inner circle of IRL friends, a bunch of us are successful YouTubers, and we just strictly focus on YouTube and are crushing it. And that's because you're spending 20, 30 minutes with me, learning from me, getting trust from me in a YouTube video. Where if you compare it to Instagram Reels or TikTok, you're spending 1, maybe 2 minutes with that person, and you're not really remembering much about them because that platform is optimized for you to keep scrolling and not really sit there and engage. So YouTube allows you to build deep relationships right on the platform. YouTube is also the second largest search engine on the planet. So if you're making a highly searchable how-to guide, like how to trade meme coins, that's going to pop up for all of those people who are searching for that specific trend. So discovery on YouTube is very much within your control, because if you can master the art of thumbnail and titles, then your ability to get discovered increase by a ton. Also, YouTube is one of the only platforms where you can put the links of your partners and affiliate links right in the description, where on like Instagram Reels, for example, or TikTok, you have to go to the bio, then go to the link tree. And it's just like all these steps, and they don't even want the user to leave the platform, where YouTube, it's just right there. It's right under the video. It makes it very easy. And it's no secret that YouTube channels can become full out businesses on their own. So if I were to start over and be a crypto content creator, I would be putting all my focus into YouTube, because when I really cracked the code on YouTube, that's when I saw my career go crazy. The next most important channel that I would focus on is a community channel, either Telegram or Discord or even Alex Hormozy's school. I mean, you could even build a WAP if you really want, but some sort of community hub. Personally, I use Telegram. Telegram enables so much creativity, so much flexibility, and it's very secure. Telegram enables you to have broadcast channels. It enables you to create group chats that are tied together, which then build these little community hubs. My Telegram channel has about 38,000 people subscribed to the broadcast channel, about 12,000 people in the group chat, and they are tied together. I highly recommend, if you haven't, join my Telegram channel down below. Tons of value that comes out of that channel, and we have an insane community. But this will become your community hub. And when we're talking about linking to affiliate links or referral links or wherever you want your audience to go, Telegram might actually be the GOAT of doing this, because you're literally just creating a text post and sending a link, and all of these people see it. Hundreds or thousands of people see it, and they can just click the link and there's no interference. It's just butter. And in my Telegram community, I think about 65 to 70% of people actually have notifications turned on. So whenever I send a broadcast, I'm hitting thousands of people's notifications like that. It's insane reach. So have a community, build it on something like Telegram or Discord, and funnel your YouTube viewers down to your Telegram or Discord or your community, just like I literally just did. And do that in every single YouTube video. And what I like to do is I like to run a giveaway on my Telegram back to my YouTube video, and it becomes this flywheel of YouTube viewers coming to Telegram and Telegram community members going back to YouTube. And it really, really helps the algorithm on YouTube broadcast your content even further. That's because the people on Telegram are already audience members on YouTube, and YouTube has tons of data points on these audience members. So if a couple hundred people from your Telegram who are very much your avatar, the person that you want to talk to in your content, go and watch all of your video, which is watch time on YouTube, which is extremely important metric. It's basically signaling to YouTube that YouTube needs to go and find more people like that are interested in those topics to watch your video, which works insanely well. The next type of video content that I would put a lot of emphasis on focusing on are Instagram Reels and short form content across the board. I mean, you can make an Instagram Reel and post it on TikTok, post it on YouTube Shorts, but the Instagram Reels platform at this current time is completely dominating, especially in crypto. I mean, TikTok at one point was a super powerful crypto marketing tool. I mean, we had the TikTok meme coin meta back in 2024. And even in 2021, 2022, that content, the crypto content on TikTok used to go bananas, like super viral all the time. But then China started getting very regulatory about crypto. And since ByteDance, the owner of TikTok, is a Chinese company, they started to kind of shadow ban or flat out ban crypto creators. I know some creators who have gotten banned for basically no reason. And a lot of my videos now on TikTok are pretty much shadow banned. But Instagram, on the other hand, has not done that at all. If anything, they've made the visibility on this content extremely good. And Instagram is definitely the most human of all of the social media platforms. There's this thing called the dead internet theory, and it's basically that like most people online are bots. And on Instagram, I find that most people are not bots. Most people are actual real people with real opinions, real comments. They follow you. It's a real person. But on TikTok, I feel like most people actually are bots. So you can easily post to multiple channels at the same time. I'm going to show you how to do that just in a bit. But if I were to focus my energy on one of these short form platforms and, create stories and engage with other creators and actually learn from what content is going viral, it would be Instagram over TikTok, over YouTube Shorts even as well, because Instagram Reels right now is cooking hard. You're probably wondering, okay, why haven't you talked about Twitter yet? Doesn't crypto Twitter run our industry? And I would say that yes and no. I think crypto Twitter is actually extremely overrated. I built a $1 million business without even having that much motion on X. There's some people with tons of motion on X, hundreds of thousands of followers on X, and they don't have the business that I have. And that's because YouTube is where the real motion is. It's obviously super important to post on X all the time and be a part of the conversation. And that's where a lot of the quick news comes in the space that you can build narratives with. I also really like to use Grok to do research on news types of videos because it can gather articles and posts from all over X. But in terms of putting all my energy into X, I have not seen the ROI there. And I post every single video that I make, short form or long form, natively on X. And really, it hasn't done anything for me. So in my opinion, X is important to have in place because it is kind of the cultural heartbeat of crypto, but in terms of creating a content business out of crypto, I would not be putting as much emphasis on it that other people tell you to put. And that's just from my experience. Now, I talked a little bit about streaming, and video streaming platforms are definitely viable and definitely something that you could go after, especially if you're wanting to take your live streams and actually create clips. You can post these clips on either your main short form channels like YouTube Shorts and Reels and TikTok, or you can make a secondary channel like I have where you post live stream clips directly on that. This kind of insulates your main content from your clips content in case maybe on live stream you're doing something that YouTube doesn't like and then you get a strike or something like that. But in terms of live streaming, I would probably recommend that you use kick.com to live stream rather than Twitch or YouTube. A big reason is because a lot of times these platforms see crypto within this regulatory gray area, even if you're being super compliant. And I've heard of creators just getting completely banned from Twitch or getting YouTube strikes from crypto content. And Kick is definitely a little more of an edgy vibe and just kind of invites different types of content. I think once you get to a place where your content business is flourishing, then you can move into streaming. In my opinion, streaming, unless you have a sponsor, isn't really going to pay you that well, not compared to what YouTube can pay you through referral links or even AdSense, but it's definitely something to consider doing down the line when you're ready to expand. So really quick, before we move on into other topics, I want to circle back because I did mention that I would show you how to post on multiple platforms at the same time. And I personally use a website called oneupapp.io. It's called OneUp. And essentially what this allows you to do is attach all of your different social media accounts. And then when you're ready to post a piece of content, you can go to create post. You can choose one of your baskets. So if I choose all my official accounts and select all, now I can actually upload a video here, click customize for each network, and actually write a different description for each of the platforms. And it has all the features that you would have when you're posting. Like I could do a trial reel on Instagram. I could add a collaborator. I could do a YouTube short like this, Snapchat highlights, Snapchat story, all this stuff. I can even schedule the content to go out at a certain date or just click post now. And I moved over to using OneUp after testing a ton of different platforms and really spending way too much time uploading. Like uploading a video to all of those platforms manually right on your phone most of the time can take 15, 20 minutes. Sometimes it's crazy. And you wouldn't really think that, but that's a lot of time to be eaten up that you could spend on other things. With OneUp, I can actually organize my accounts. So this is like my official accounts, but if I go and I clicked my Crypto Vic highlight accounts, these are specific clipping accounts from my live stream that I can post way more content on and just do it super quick like this, schedule it all out. It's super handy. So yes, I use OneUp. If you want to use OneUp as well, the link is in the description below. That is an affiliate link. I will get a kickback. Really dope platform, super simple, very affordable, recommended. Now, one major thing with crypto video content that I don't see anyone talk about is production quality. Now, production quality and trust go hand in hand. If you have a trash camera, bad lighting, bad microphone, you can't hear what you're saying, all your captions are misspelled, it just looks like trash, you don't have people's trust. But if you're in a sick setup, you have great lighting, you have an amazing microphone, you are professional and presentable, and you know how to speak on camera, that's production quality. And that stuff matters, especially in a space where trust is a currency. People are going to trust you in crypto if you look trustworthy, if you look more presentable, more professional. If you just look like some unprofessional bum, people are going to think you're an unprofessional bum, and you are not going to have the motion required to unlock all the opportunities that you could potentially unlock. So you need to use a good camera. First off, a good camera. I mean, my camera and lens together are worth like $5,000. I upgraded that because this is my business and I had to work into that. I didn't have that out the gate. But even if you have like a modern iPhone, like I have an iPhone 15 Pro, I think I haven't upgraded in a bit, but the camera on this is damn well good enough, especially paired with good lighting. You'd be surprised how far lighting will go. And if you don't know anything about lighting, go to YouTube and look up a 3-point lighting tutorial, and that will teach you everything you need to know. You need like one light here, and then one light up above you that shines on the back of your head. And then I just put colorful LEDs on my backdrop and make my backdrop dope. And that's pretty much it. In terms of microphone, I mean, now they have these Amazon special microphones that you can buy for like $100, and they're good enough, bro. They're just good microphones. They're not the microphone built into the camera, because that's so far away, and I'm talking right here. I want the microphone to convey my voice in a very crisp and clear way. You also want to be properly positioned in the framing of your video, like where I'm sitting, how much headroom there is, how much room down here there is. If I were to crop this for a short form video, is it still applicable? And that comes down to like what lens you use, how far your camera is. And then there's video editing, which video editing, I mean, alone is a massive skill. You can hire video editors online. I'm sure if you just go to X and you type in video editor, you could probably find someone pretty cheap from overseas. If you're going to learn video editing yourself, I would probably recommend DaVinci Resolve for someone that's starting out, because they have a completely free tier. But personally, I use Adobe Premiere, which is a paid platform, in order to edit my videos. And I do most of my editing myself. Aside from the intros in my YouTube videos, I do all my editing myself. And that's because my boy Mihai cooks hard. Now, I go super deep into these specific topics in this older short form video course that I put together. This is like from 2022. I used to sell this course on how to make short form content. I stopped selling it because I felt like selling courses were grimy. I didn't really like it. And I also wanted to build a brand not selling courses, which I'm going to get into that topic. I talk about that in this video. But all of that old course, I'm going to give you completely for free. Yes, that's right. I'm giving you a course that I sold for $300, and I probably made like $16,000 selling for free, bro, for free. All you have to do is go to vicmasterlist.com, go to the resources page, custom resources, and look for the short form content domination course. Going to give you those files for free. I go into editing. There's like an hour and a half editing tutorial, lighting, framing, scripting, speaking on camera. Like I go over everything, bro. It's a full course. It's a couple hours long. I'm giving it to you for free if you want to deep dive into this stuff, all right? Because I'm not going to sell it. And I was honestly going to post it on YouTube, but some of the stuff is outdated. So I just thought, I'll just give it to you for free. Just remember that this is something you can't skip over. Production quality is one of the most important factors in order for you to actually get viewers to stick around, trust you, and really enjoy the viewing experience. I mean, if your quality sucks and your lighting sucks and your audio sucks, your viewer is not going to have fun, bro. They're going to leave. They're not going to stick around. And that is not what you want. That's the opposite of what you want. So the next thing we got to talk about it, especially in crypto. Like this is so big in crypto, and that is being doxed versus being anonymous. And no one really talks about this, but this is a huge decision you have to make as a crypto creator. So an anonymous creator is someone that you see them on X all the time. They just have like a PFP of some old NFT, and then their name is some like little nickname, like almost like an Xbox gamer tag. And that's like their brand, that they're anonymous. They're a person behind it. You don't know who they are, if they're a girl, if they're a guy, where they live, if they're rich, if they're poor, whatever. But they kind of have this crypto-esque, NFT-esque brand going on. And the good thing about that is they preserve their privacy. And with their privacy, they preserve their safety, which in crypto, you never know who you're dealing with. Crypto tends to attract some maybe not so respectable people. So that's a major benefit. But what you're losing by being anonymous is trust, which we've developed is a serious currency here. I mean, if you're completely anonymous, who's to say you don't just, screw everyone over, right? You're not going to get in trouble for it. No one knows who you are. And because of that, you won't get the same deals that someone who is doxed will get. You don't have the same brand equity that someone who is doxed has, because who knows, like it could be 10 people behind the scenes working on this account, or it could literally just be AI at this point. So I would say you have a 10x advantage over someone who's anonymous if you are a doxed creator, meaning your face is showing, people know your real name, people know who you are. I mean, look at me. You know who I am, bro. It literally says Vic right there. Vic Laranja. That's my dead ass, my name, bro. And because of this, I have real partnerships with real brands. I have real trust with real people because I have been in this game for a long time and I've never screwed anyone over. I have a long-term leverage. I can build a long-term business off of my name. Now, at the same time, the risk is that I don't have as much privacy. I don't have the defaulted security mask of people not knowing who I am. And also, I have to deal with people who pretend to be me, which I will get into a little later, which is literally a cancer of the space, but I mean, we'll talk about that soon. So right now you need to decide, am I trying to be anonymous and have something small, or am I trying to be doxed and try to build something big? There's no right or wrong answer here. It's completely up to what you want. But that leads me into the next pressing question. How exactly is trust built in crypto? Because it's not just going to be built by making content. How you make content, what you make content about, the tone that you give out, the things that you say, these things matter when you are creating content to build trust. And I think number one, you should never have bad intentions because bad intentions are seen from a mile away. Number two, you should always be authentic to who you are because right when you are inauthentic, your audience can smell it. You seem fishy, you seem sus, and they don't trust it. I would always be thinking, how can I provide value to this audience and not think, how can I create content for me? The content you're creating is for the audience. Like I didn't really want to make this video personally, but many, many, many people in my community have hit me up and said, can you make this video? I really want to know how to become a crypto creator. I want to take this seriously. And I was like, damn, well, 5-6 people DMing me, asking me for this video. It's worth making, and it's not for me. It's for those people who maybe there are more of them that I don't even know about. Things like accurate news that, are not misinformation, explanations of very complicated topics that you simplify, walkthroughs of tools and platforms that are very popular that a lot of people want to use, but maybe they're confused about. I mean, you can literally just read the documentation of a platform and then make a tutorial and people will love you for it because you did the hard work that they didn't want to do. And that builds trust. Now, how to not build trust, go in a different direction and destroy your credibility is by ripping people off, by deploying tokens and rugging them, by lying and hiding facts, like hiding partnerships. These things destroy your trust and authority. If you are flexing on people and you post and you make Instagram posts with all these different Lamborghinis, people are going to start to think like, bro, like those seem to be all rented. This stuff does not build trust. In fact, no one can relate to this stuff. Like, it's not real. Even if you have a bunch of Lamborghinis, that's not the reason people want to follow you. People want to follow you because they want to level up. So how can you help them level up? That's what matters. That's your job as a crypto creator, is to help your community get better, get more knowledgeable, get safer in the space, avoid the garbage in the space. That's your job. That's your real job when it comes down to it. Not to show them that you can do a spread of $100 bills on your arms, bro. Like no one cares about that. They just don't. And one thing I would never, ever, 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 ever do in crypto, and that you should not do in crypto either, is sell courses and sell VIP calls, okay? This is terrible. And if you want to get in trouble with regulators, doesn't matter where you live, okay? This is the number one way to get in trouble right away. Put a target on your back. If you're selling people a course on how to trade crypto, this is just a bad idea. Because unless you're like literally a financial advisor that went to school for being a financial advisor and know the regulations about teaching people formally about this stuff, then you're not in the position to do it. Maybe there are places on earth that allow you to legally sell a course on trading an unregulated financial asset like crypto, but I probably can guarantee you that there is not a place like that. A paid course or a paid VIP call community is just screaming of sketchy business. Because if you have to charge someone to learn how to trade from you and you're not an actual authority with a license in trading, then what is that telling everyone else? That's telling everyone else that the money you're making is more likely coming from the course than from the trading. And then what happens if they don't get good results? Whose problem is that? That is now the course creator's problem. And especially if you're selling VIP calls, like token calls, and you're selling access to that, what happens if that call ends up going sour? What happens if that token rugs? People are going to come after you because they paid money for a guarantee that you could not provide. And even saying that you can guarantee anything in crypto is outrageous. And I highly, highly discourage you from guaranteeing anything in crypto, because nothing in crypto is guaranteed at all. Instead, what you should be doing, and what I do, instead of selling a paid crypto course, which I never have. Yes, I've had a content creation course at one point, but I never had any crypto courses. I've never sold VIP calls. Is I lead with free value, free education to build trust and build a community, which I then partner with reputable brands and platforms and tools. And I use the advertising model to make money off of the fact that these people are now listening to me, and I now have my own advertising platform through all of my channels. I also can get AdSense from YouTube. I can get paid Kick subs, things like this. And instead of selling anything to my audience, which is called B2C or business to consumer, I instead have a B2B business, a business to business where I monetize the trust that I built and use that trust to steamroll more trust by working with trusted brands, big trusted brands like Kraken or Trezor. And that's why building a community on Telegram or Discord or School or WAP is non-negotiable. This is like crucial, fundamental, foundational for your entire journey. You need to have a cult following. You need to have a community, and that should be your goal at the end of the day, to build up a community in crypto. That's the whole point of all of your content, is to have a group, an army that trusts you. Now, with great power comes great responsibility, but if you are responsible and you are compliant, you won't use that power wrongfully, which I really, really hope that you never do, because there are good deals that you can make in crypto, but there are very, very bad deals that you can make in crypto. And sometimes it feels like you're turning down tens, 20s, hundreds of thousands of dollars in order to keep on a straight line. But trust me, it's worth it. Now, another reason that building a community off of these social media platforms is so powerful is because there is no algorithm. When you create YouTube content or Reels or whatever, you are competing with the algorithm in order to break through the noise and gain attention of an audience. But when you have a community off platform, let's say on Telegram, and I make a broadcast, boom, on Telegram, a ton of people are going to get notified. There's no algorithm. There's no middleman. It's just me to them. And that is real power. So how can you monetize this power legally with compliance? Because compliance, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit, is super important for the longevity of your brand, especially if you're doxed and you're showing your face. Like, you want to make sure that your business is legit. So number one, sponsorships, which I already kind of talked about. A sponsored post for a platform or a tool or a brand in the space that you think is doing something really great. Now, that could be paid with a flat fee. They pay you X amount of dollars. You go and you make this type of content. You can also make money like this through affiliate or referral income. So if you make a video on a certain platform and then that viewer goes and uses your link to sign up, and then they go and transact on that platform under you, you can make a commission or a kickback on every single person that used your link, which is incredible for passive income. And then if you're on YouTube or you're on Kick or you're on a platform that pays per views, you can make what we call AdSense, which generates money by putting ads on your video on this platform and then pays you through like the YouTube dashboard. But the key thing here is to be compliant. And I mentioned compliance before, but always disclose, always tell the audience that this is a partnered video, that you will be getting a commission if they use your link. You need to be transparent. You need to be upfront. It also is going to protect your reputation, because if someone who knows that law is watching your video and you promote some platform and you don't tell the people you promoted their platform, they're going to be like, yo, you just did an illegal ad. Like, that's crazy. And this leads me into compliance in general. Every jurisdiction, every country, even province on earth is going to have different rules than the next. So it's super important that you know what you can and can't do where you live, with this content. Some places are very tight on regulations. Some places are much looser on regulations. In some places, you can talk about Polymarket, or in some places where I live, you can't teach people how to use Polymarket. So understand which topics you're going to talk about in your content. And then also look into the rules of talking about those topics in your content. And you can really easily just do this with AI. You can go to ChatGPT or Google Gemini to get a good idea. And I know that those are not actual lawyers, but they will go and they will scrape the reports and the articles on the websites that are relevant for where you live. So for me, I'd be like, can I talk about Polymarket in Ontario? And Google Gemini would be like, nah, like you can't do that, bro. And then I wouldn't, which I didn't, because teaching a banned tool in your region can actually open you up to a legal risk. So you need to know very much upfront what you can, what you can't talk about, how you can talk about these things, how you can't, and just be a master of the compliance game. And this will actually determine what tutorials you can make, what platforms you can talk about, which sponsorships or brand partnerships you can actually take, because there's going to be some partnerships you cannot take unless you want to risk it, which I don't recommend. And as a rule of thumb for compliance, you should never be giving somebody direct financial advice ever. You should never tell someone what to buy, how to buy, when to sell, nothing. I've never done that. I've made it super abundantly clear that I will never do that. You should not either. You can, however, show them what you do, not what to do. So if I'm saying, yo, like this is how I do it, this is what I've done in the past. Like I made a video saying how I sold a bunch of my crypto to buy a building. I'm telling you what I did. I'm not saying go sell your crypto and buy a building. Like that's not what the video is about. You can walk through softwares and tools and teach actually the mechanics of the tool, but you should probably stay away from strategies within those tools. And circling back, know your jurisdiction's laws and regulations. Now, we've gone over a lot how to get this done. Now I need to let you know of the risks, the warnings, all right? So basically in crypto, if you get big, you are going to get cloned. You are going to get impersonated. I would be very surprised if you were big, my size. And that's because there's so many scammers in crypto, bro. Like there's so many scammers and they want your money. And I have a bunch of videos on how to not get scammed. Like you can watch a video right here on how to not get scammed and hacked in crypto, which I highly recommend you watching. But you need to know that people are most likely going to impersonate you, make fake accounts of you, make fake Telegram accounts of you, deep fake you even, which that's been becoming a thing now. Crazy. They're even impersonating my mods on Telegram because we have a big community of mods and I have pro mods that I pay in order to keep my community as safe as possible. And yeah, they make fake accounts of my mods now and DM them. So it's really sad that they can take your name and your face and actually try to scam people with it. You just need to be vigilant. You need to have your security in order. You need to be constantly letting people know that this is going on. And hopefully there comes some sort of regulation or comes some sort of law that really cracks down on this, or the platforms crack down on this. Some platforms are very good for it, like Instagram. If you have a blue check on Instagram, which I highly recommend you investing in, you can basically get these scammers and impersonators taken down like that. But platforms like Telegram, very, very difficult to get these accounts taken down. It's not impossible. We have done it, but it's tough. So you will spend time and most likely money fighting this evil. But it's kind of the sacrifice that you make in order to build this type of business. So that is my full guide on becoming a crypto content creator, doing it properly, doing it legally, doing it successfully. As I mentioned before, any link that I talked about in this video will be at vicmasterlist.com, which I highly recommend you signing up for. And I'm going to do something different for this video, which I've never done before. So I know what's going to happen after this video. A bunch of people are going to be hitting me up, asking me for advice, one-on-one time. Just take a look at this for me. Take a look at this for me. And I just can't do that. I don't have the bandwidth to give out free advice for creators. Now, I've never charged for coaching or consulting in crypto at all. However, with this being creator focused, and I need to clarify that this is not trading, this is not crypto coaching or consulting or anything like that. This is strictly to do with creating content, okay? I'm going to open up 30-minute slots and they're going to be expensive. They're not going to be cheap. because my time is valuable. But if you are serious about creating crypto content and you want to skip a ton of the barriers that are currently in your way, it most likely makes sense for you to invest in that. Now, I'm not guaranteeing that I can solve all your problems, but I've been in this game a long time, and for the price that I'm going to charge and what you can possibly make, I know the ROI is probably there. So if you want to do a one-on-one 30-minute creator consultation with me, the link is down below. The price might fluctuate based on demand. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Vic. I hope that this video was full of value. I am trying to grow the #1 how-to crypto channel on all of YouTube. So if that sounds cool, hit subscribe. And as always, my friends, stay safe in the trenches.